Hello, hello, hello. Like the French would say, bonjour. Like the Spanish would say, hola. Well, I don't know, but I think that's what that's how they used to say. A cabo, you're welcome to this edition of Live Conversations with Victor James. And this is the last one for the month of February, and I think that it would be right to end it again, talking about human relationship, connections, love, and fulfillment and such like that. So this entire inspiration for this podcast came through Genesis chapter 24 when I was reading that Bible passage. Was it last week? So you have to understand anyway that the Bible is made for humanity. It's not made for Christians. That's what people think. It is made for the entire world because God created this world. Every creature in this world, as far as humans are concerned anyway, they should read the Bible and they will gain from the Bible and they will learn from the Bible and their life will be improved by the Bible, regardless of whether you believe really in the powers of God, in the powers of Jesus. The principles of the Bible will still work for you. So it's a manual. It's a great reference point for everybody who is in search of wisdom. And that's what I did. That's what I tried to do, really, to try and read the Bible from the perspective of wisdom. It is through that wisdom we get power. I have a friend who, maybe you should call him, I think that's what they call agnostic. So he believes that there is a higher power out there who put all this together. There is a God, but he doesn't believe that it's through any religion. He doesn't believe in any religion. He doesn't believe in serving God or worshiping God. There's nothing like that in his life. But he recognizes that there is a God. So last year, having attacked the Christianity, every religion really, for well over 5 years or so, last year, he now said he has started reading the Bible. That he just wants to understand what we used to talk about. So he wants so that he would be able to engage us very correctly. So he now started reading the Bible. I was very happy because I knew that once someone starts reading the Bible, you realize that there is something here. In the wisdom of the Bible, you would get some power. In the knowledge of the Bible, you will realize that there is power therein. So he's very analytical, that guy, by profession, by personality, really. So he's been reading the Bible from a perspective of trying to get wisdom. And I think that's a great thing to do. Even we who are established as Christians, we need to study more. We need to relate more with the Bible and try to get as much details as possible. Anyway, let's get to the thick of the matter. So I read Genesis chapter 24, and it was just a story really of Abraham. It's the story of how Isaac found his wife. It's also a story of how Abraham sent Eliezer, his chief servant, to go and look for a wife for Isaac. In 2026, I want to ask you, can you allow somebody to look for a wife for you? Or you is married, can you look for a wife for another person? For me, the answer is yes on both. The person is looking now. The person is searching or recommending. It doesn't mean that I would marry them. It's just you recommend it. I will make the final decision. So far they do it in the right way, and that's what we want to study today. And for me anyway, I believe that you can recommend people to another person. I don't see why not. Say, I know this person, chat her up. I don't see why that would be a terrible thing to do. But people say you are matchmaking, don't do that. Come on now. You meet as friends, and then if it doesn't work, everybody go. And you must be a sensible person for me to even do that to you in the first place. So it's not a matter of if it doesn't work out, you will now maybe blame me. That's what people do. That's what people still, when they say they don't want to recommend anybody to anybody, they say once maybe they got married and things happen, they forever and never they will believe that you are the one that ruined their life. Come on. Even the decisions we make are as simple or complex as we choosing a course in the university. To be many of us now today, we can't get over the course, and did we blame ourselves? Anyway, a university course of study is not the same as marriage, but still, I'm sure you get my point. So yeah. But there are some things that I realized that Eliezer did here and Rebecca did here and Isaac did that I felt it is the same today for those who want to settle down. And I'm sure there are several listeners, so maybe this podcast would help you. So I have experience. I used to say I don't advise married people. Anytime marriage conversation comes up, people are talking about married life, I usually keep quiet. I don't have much experience there. But when the gurus are talking, I can talk. I have over 10 years of experience single, that had been prepared for marriage, ready to marry, and I did get married. So I have 10 years of singleness experience, over a decade. So I know I can speak on the subject matter. And so let's get into it. First of all, what we must learn here is if you want to get married, you must have a reference point. In this case of Abraham, the reference point is God. Right? So he knows. Isaac too, the reference point is God. Eliezer, the reference point is God. They knew that it has to be God. Now, the difference in our perspective of what it means for God to give somebody a wife is always different based on whether you are traditional, conservative, or you are liberal minded, and you want to go in the way of. It's either you are saying, "Oh, I must wait," which I don't think that anybody really since maybe 1989. That's when they were doing that. You want to wait, go to maybe redemption camp, lock yourself in a bush and pray until God shows you who you will marry. And then you will now find this person wherever they may be. Hopefully, they say in the place of prayer, you will get their maybe phone number, you get their address. You shall find a way to know them, because what's the point if you can't get access to them? So yes, I used to hear those stories too. I remember now in 2020, 2009, 2010 when I was at the University of Benin, and they will bring marriage seminars, and that's what they used to paint for us. That there was a brother who was traveling from Abuja to Lagos. So he met his sister. As he saw the sister, he just knew. So he had seen the sister before in his dream before he went on that journey. So on that journey, he said, that's the sister that God showed me. Then they got married. It's all right. Even then, I've always struggled. Even then, I was maybe 18 years old. I used to say, sorry, I shouldn't use PG in this podcast. I used to say, which sort of a testimony is this? How does this help? How many people has this happened to? Then later we now go to the stage of you pray that you want to get married, then you sleep, then you dream, then you saw that you were fetching water. Everybody's familiar with this story. You're fetching water, and after fetching the water, somebody said they were able to carry the water, and lo and behold, you saw a lady, so you helped her carry the water on her head, and she left the well with you. So you knew that, wow, that means that this will be the woman I would marry. That's my laughter is not mockery, because it has happened to me. But I can't laugh at what has happened to me now. So, but my laughter is the fact that we have now cocooned ourselves and boxed up ourselves, cornered ourselves into believing that this is the way it would be. This is the way it must be. If you don't, there are people who would get every other conviction that this is the person they should marry, but they do not. They are waiting because their entire lifestyle has been based upon the belief that they must receive some level of vision before they can know that that's the person they would marry. So they wait, despite everything that is working out. Now, that is why you must take responsibility for what you consume, the kind of knowledge or information you consume. You must take responsibility for it. There's nothing that is random. You are just, no, I'm just watching this drama. I'm just reading this material. what do you intend to gain there? If you are not comfortable with the kind of ideas they are spouting out, you have to quit it, stop it, and move forward. Because those things form the mentality and the structure of your mind, and they will influence your decision in the near future. All right? So, yeah, but eventually that was a 1989 principle of marriage. Through vision, or something must happen, you open the Bible randomly, you open to Jezebel, you will quickly close it, you open it again, you open to Zedadiah, you see who is sister there, you close it again, open it again until you see Esther. That is a wonderful social media person that you have been following secretly since 2 years. And I say, oh, it's Esther, my brother, my sister, let's not do this. Let's not do this. So in that case, what should we do? Eliezer, Abraham, Isaac, and Rebekah. First of all, there is a God there. We pray to God. Now understand again that if somebody, I wrote this in a post in 2015, I can't forget, it's one of my most popular Facebook posts then. And because the idea was so controversial that one of my leaders came to, my church leader came to warn me that we can't be talking like that. It seems I'm preaching error. 2015, no, this is now 11 years later. If you ask the same leader now, I'm sure he would agree with what I wrote then. So this is what I said. And I said that I gave a caveat. I should start with that caveat that if somebody is 80 years old or 70 years old tells you that this is the way to do things, and me, who is just your contemporary in terms of age, tells you this is how you want to do things, well, if you believe me, you believe me. If you believe somebody that is older, you believe them. But yeah, you have to take responsibility for the decision. So I give that prelude so that I will say what I want to say with much freedom. So I wrote in 2015 that a human being, is the one that picks whoever they want to get married to. Yeah, that was the bone of contention. So the people do not want to agree. But I am convinced of it. Till now, 10 years, 11 years later, I still hold on to it. It's you who picks who you want to marry. The God has given the responsibility. Do you know that what is greater than marriage in this life? Think about it. Number one, salvation, to go to heaven or to go to hell. Then number two, if you go back to Adam and Eve, to eat of the fruit of evil or the fruit of good. What did Eve pick? God gave Eve the chance. Adam, he gave them both the chance to pick. God knew that it will probably damn the entire generation of humanity till today. But yeah, humans must pick. What did God say? God advised, pick this. So that you can, I can't recall now if he advised. But he said that he gave the condition, this tree will lead you to life, this tree you'll be damned. But you have to pick. Salvation too, which is the biggest deal, is bigger even than the events that happened in the Garden of Eden. It is you who had to pick. There is no way your parents want to pray you into salvation. You will have to raise your hand. You would have to talk to God. You will have to pick it. It's your decision. You cannot now, when it gets to choosing who will walk with you for the next 60 years or so, you don't want to say, no, I'm not picking. God, you pick it for me. It's like saying, God, remove this other fruit. Give me fruit of knowledge, or give me the fruit of life, the tree of life, rather than giving me the choice. Or it's like saying, Lord, save me, rather than me choosing to be saved. You can't do that. Jesus Christ, when he died, you have to understand that he chose to die. He laid down willingly. He chose it. You will choose your wife. Anyway, I believe that this, so that we not overflog the matter. Of course, now you know that it's been established by my biblical analogies. So let's get forward. Second evidence, anyway, is that if you look through the entire Bible, it never for once did anybody pick based on vision or. Yeah, the only person who picked based on vision, I think it was Hosea, Prophet Hosea, where God told him to go and marry a lot. So that was a proverb. It was a parable. God was using him as a prophet to marry Lot. I think it was Goma. That's the name of that woman. You see, I'm not saying this based on teen hell. It's in the Bible, the book of Hosea. You can read it. It's because I was brought up in the Bible from the day I opened my eyes. So I know most Bible verses, or I know what happened in my head, even if I cannot quote them verbatim. So he was told to marry a lot, so that God will show him that the analogy between Israel going after abominations. Anyway, every other person, the father, Mary and Joseph, it was they chose it. They had married. God supported them. The angel appeared that don't break up with him, of course. But the choosing of Mary was Joseph's responsibility. Yeah, that's it. Since when they created Eve was created for Adam. That was it. It was created from his rib. If you look at the Bible too, and the man knew the woman. The God has done his part. He has created the woman. But I don't want us to become too sidetracked. Because before I go and change the topic of the conversation now to to how to know the will of God. But I think this is the basics. So first of all, you must understand that it is your responsibility as a woman, and I need to mention it as a woman too, to pick and choose and select your husband. But your entire choosing or picking or selection is based on you having the Spirit of God. I dare say to you, if you go to the countries, go and Google it, countries with the least divorce rates. So since we cannot, so if you want to measure fulfillment in marriage, what determines whether someone is happy in life and are fulfilled and have a happy marriage? There's no way. It's only the two of them that can tell you whether they are happy. So what we can use as an index is divorce. Therefore, we can use divorce rates as to try and quantify whether a marriage is working well or not. So in that case now, thinking with data, if you check the divorce rates in the world, which country has the least, you will realize that many of the countries that have the least, they do not even believe in God. They don't. It's not a matter of is it a Christian country or not. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of you, the human part, the person, the two people. What are their personal character traits? All right. For example, India has the lowest divorce rates in the world. But it is because, again, there are stigmas around divorce. Therefore, people culturally do not think that it's even an option. All right. So Japan too. Of course, Japan are very strongly agnostic. It's not a Christian. They are not a Christian country. You can't call them a Christian country. But still, they are they stay together for a long time. All right. Now, the places, the countries that have we know, we'll be saying, we are mentioning God, Jesus, and all that. We realize, because again we are liberal, we are more open. We realize that we have an option, and of course, if you now go to more liberal countries, America, for example, maybe I think they have 55%. As the last time I checked, divorce rate or successful marriage, 55%. That is 45% in the divorce. So anyway, it's more of a question of the humans involved rather than is it your religion. Please, I just want us to get that right. So having gotten this out of the way, let's now look at Eliezer. First of all, Abraham told him very clearly that he should go to my country and to my kindred and take a wife. In that case, there are some persons we cannot marry. Fact. In fact, I should that's even though that's correct, that may not represent what I'm saying. It's more accurate to say there are few people we can marry. There are very few people that you can marry. There are very few. Now, if you want to talk medically, of course, I'm talking about genotype now. Maybe that has eliminated some people from who you can end up with. Then, because of your country, you say, oh, you have to marry from your country. Okay, that has eliminated possibly 95% of the remaining of the entire world. Then maybe some people, they want their church. How many of you are on your church? All right. So there are 8 billion people in this world. 4 billion, more or less, are men or women distributed across the two genders. Out of these 4 billion, can you marry all of them? Remove the ones that are not up to the age of marriage. Remove the ones that are above, that are already married. And eventually, what number are you remains for you to get married to? Really? Now, in this number, you must now go to my country and to my children, because it's established. A Christian cannot marry who is not. He cannot marry a non-Christian. Yeah, I'm saying Christian by the definition of Christianity. In fact, even in the Christianity, there are churches that like I'm saying that me as a human being, from what I've studied, there are churches that you should not recommend that this church member should marry a church member. Why are we doing this? The common values. That is why I tie back to Japan. Japan have a strong cultural value, identity to themselves. In that case, the difference, they are more unitary as a culture than Nigeria, for example, or than UK, where I'm doing this, I'm supporting this person, I'm not supporting this person, I believe in this, I don't believe in that. Japan, China, they have a very similar lifestyle. They are conservative mostly. Almost all of them know the fact they don't have a problem. They don't have an opinion about family. They know it's a culture to them that your family is part of your household, especially your parents. So it's not up for question. Like in Nigeria now, you have to discuss it during when you are in a relationship. That our parents staying with us. In Japan, you are not going to discuss that. It's part of the it's part of the culture. Everybody does it. Do you get? So in that case now, because there are values that are already aligned together, it is easier because your point of clash, your conflict is reduced. And I need to iterate that. So if two angels, Angel Michael and Angel Michaelina, they married, they will have conflict as long as they are humans. It doesn't matter. So far it's a man and a woman, and both of you are humans, of course, you will have conflict. Now, what you need to do, why he's saying that you must go to my country and to my kid ready, you are reducing the points of conflict. You do not want the point of conflict to become external, because this woman that you are admiring, this man that you are admiring already has inherent in him some personal history which will be a point of conflict between both of you. You will always need to refine each other. That's the journey of marriage. Or also relationship. It starts from relationship, really. In fact, if you do your relationship well, you are supposed to have refined yourself a lot. But as every married person will tell you, especially in new marriage, people that are newly married, they will tell you very clearly that a relationship of 10 years is not the same with marriage of 1 week. You can never, it's different entirely. So and then after you say you have decided this is within the purview of people I have to marry, you have to clarify it. Don't worry about am I not being too selective? Of course, Abraham was being selective here. Fact. But just clarify it. There are people you cannot marry, but more important to clarify, who do you want to get married to? He now said, followed after this foundational criterion, the next thing is now to say, I need some testimony. I need to look out for something. I need to look out for something. What is your core value that you're looking for in the person? Do you understand? So what do you want to look for in that person? What do you want to look for? This question is different from the fundamental core principle I mentioned. This one is, maybe I would say 3 things that the person must have. If what you want, please, you know that whatever you are seeing is a mirror of yourself. So whatever you are asking is a mirror of yourself. For example, if a person, let's look at 2 instances of, I think these are real life people that I know. One career person, both persons are top people. Their career, they are settled. Their career is settled. One wants a career person too, so that they will be pushing the career together. The other wants somebody who is not too big on career. They want somebody who would be more reserved, be more homely. Let me say, who would take care of the home front, so that they would continue to do what they want. These are 2 people. Whereas the first person wanted, I want somebody who would be doing this career thing with me. So it's a desire. I can't fault it. So one of the problems we have in this our time and age is we want everybody to think the same way. It's ridiculous and utterly destructive. We cannot think in the same way. There is no need to, to fault the think of another person. That's their perspective. That's their opinion. You hold your own. So I'm saying this because we would say, so somebody wants to get married. Look at him. His husband, our husband is sitting at home. She will just be traveling about, or to flip it, his wife will be sitting at home. He will just be traveling about. That is what they want. If that is what they want, that's what matters. It works for them. It will work for them. I know somebody who actually told me that he knows that if he and his wife were staying together so much, their marriage would have collapsed. I think their marriage now about 10 years. But because everybody has their own space in most times, whereas there are couples that if they don't stay together, the marriage will collapse. In fact, 2 weeks is not possible. That's the marriage will get into an end. Once 2 weeks is only to 2 months and everybody is in their own spaces, the partnership begins to get eroded and the marriage starts to end. My point is, it depends on who you are. That is what we decide what you want. What do you want? 3 things from the person. Who do you want to marry? The first thing is, who can you not marry? And which the question conversely is, who do you want to marry? Which kind of people? Which community? Second now is, what in that person, now coming from a general, from the general to the personal, what 3 things do you want in that person? And these 3 things must be things that align to your true self, such that even if you want to change in the future, you will not change so much as to depart from the entire 3. All right? Because this is a podcast, let's move forward. And so the next thing is service. There was service here. More than the sign, there was service. And there was faith. Eliezer believed in the God of Abraham. Abraham believed in God. Eliezer's secondary faith believed in Abraham. Now, but the faith was still there, even though it was passed along from Abraham to Eliezer. So the faith must be there. You must know that in this your search for a wife or your husband, it will work out. There is no reason for you to search if you believe it's not going to work out. You've prayed about it, you've learned about it, you've listened to this podcast, for example, you have decided. Now you must believe. You must have this firm belief that it will work out. That's faith. Now, you are now looking for service, which is the point here. It's not the sign, it's the service. Yes, Eliezer had said that, no, Eliezer was just talking. He said, are you God of Abraham? Send me good speed and show kindness unto my master. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the dancement of whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink. And she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels also. Let the same be that you have appointed unto Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou show kindness unto my master. Right? I'm a KJV guy. Of course, that's my name now. Victor, KJV, VJW. So, so yeah, let's get back. The entire thing Elias was saying here is that he would ask whichever woman that he asks that, please give me drink, and the person will say, okay, I will give you drink, but more than that, I will also give you thy camel. Do you understand? So yeah, that's the point. That's the sign that he built his own testimony upon. Whoever we say, he says, give me a drink. Of course, it's easy for everybody to say, I'll give you a drink, but it's not that easy for the person to now offer to say, don't worry, I'll go the extra mile. It is that extra mile that is what I'm talking about. That's the service. And that is what still till today decides decides whether this person is getting married to this person. In many instances, it's the man that goes the extra mile, but there must be an extra mile. I really wish for a society where women, I've been arguing this now for years. I'm not comfortable with the fact that a woman will get to a certain age and everybody's advice for her would be to just sit and wait. I don't know. It feels not right. I don't know. It feels wrong. This woman chose her career. This woman made the choice in her university. This woman finished school. This woman became somebody important. But once it gets to the point of marriage, you say she should not make any decision. Like she should wait for another. Let me not go into that anyway. People have different perspectives and usually strong opinions about it. But yeah, there must be an extra mile. Conventionally, okay, let me give it to them. It's a man. But there must be somebody that would give. If conventionally you go to an extra mile of service at the beginning as the man, before it gets to marriage, hopefully the woman takes an extra mile. Both of you should have at least recorded one point where you went far and beyond for the other person. That is how you know that, okay, because it's a sign that there is something substantial more than emotion, attraction, and feelings to go an extra mile in service to you. The man may be doing it for the first month. You would go all the way from Shomolu to Iyanokwaja to go and see a sister. But at one point, the woman too must take this. This service is one of the things that you must also look for. Having listed, of course, the core characters, 3 of them. Some would advise 7, but I think the fewer the better. So then you must now look after with outside those 3. You must have an extra mile. All right. So Rebecca now came along. Let's continue the story so that I can get 2 or more lessons and wrap this up. By the way, if you are listening to this point, you are a G, you are an OG. It's because of you that I have the strength to carry on recording this. So yeah, Rebecca came around and did exactly that, and Eliezer now asked, whose daughter art thou? Premier Teddy, is there room in thy father's house? So Rebecca now, on the part of the man, you go searching. You go out convince. You go out to convince. On the part of the woman, it's necessary to show kindness. It's God that knows how He arranges this world, and even outside, if I'm not even talking about God now, even by data, if the man stretches extra mile and does something to try to win over the woman will have to respond with kindness. However, the same way that the man has probably tried to convince one person before, but it didn't work out, he will still muster the strength and faith and confidence to try and convince another person. It didn't work out. The man is trying again and again. the woman also has the responsibility to show kindness again and again. That's deep, but I hope it is understood. You can't be weary of being kind to people, whether it works out or not. You can't be weary of being kind to people. So eventually, Eliezer realized that the woman who came, of course, that's now divine orchestration, and that this is where I need to clarify that I said that you will pick yourself, but God orchestrates it. I don't know the person you want to talk to about marriage who will not see the orchestration of God in their story. But in most instances, they don't see it until they have made the move. You will now realize that, oh, wow, this is like a miracle. This is a big deal. It's God that actually arranged this. So many things will be falling on the outside probability, mathematically impossible probability. 1 in a trillion chance of this happening to be happening to you. That is how you will realize that later that God is in this story. But you have to first take a step. That's where I need to clarify. So it turned out that that Rebecca who came around and gave water to Eliezer the servant and also to the camels was the daughter of Abraham's elder brother. So she was of Abraham's kid, as Abraham asked. But the story doesn't stop there. So Isaac gave this. Eliezer gave this Rebecca several things. He gave her gifts. That's important. Substance must be on the side of a man. Substance must be on the side of a man. When I say substance, I did not say money. Money is a kind of substance. Strength is a kind of substance. Possibilities of the future is a kind of substance. Investment is a kind of substance. Spiritual power is a kind of substance. Wisdom is a substance too. Potential and prospect is a substance, yes. But a man must have substance to give to this woman. And the woman must see it. It's not even potential, they must see the potential. It's not to say, don't worry, I can't show you. Just believe it. You must show it too. So, eventually, when Dinah asked Rebecca, which is what I think is also very strong to point out here, they asked Rebecca that does he want to go now with the Eliezer, because the Eliezer came to the house, introduced himself, talked about his master Abraham and what he did and how he chose Rebecca as the wife of Isaac. So our family now asked her that do you want to go with this man? Rebecca said something important. He said, and they called Rebecca and said unto her, will thou go with this man? This is verse 58. And she said, I will go. There is a reason why you need the woman's consent was important. It is important, of course, now. Come on. Why are we even talking about this? It is a no-brainer, certainly. So the families were involved. And I would say that, please, if two people are getting married, the family should be involved, though. Please. I did not say it must be your father. I did not say it must be your mother. I did not say it must be the head of your family or grandparent. I said the family must be involved. At least somebody in the family should consent to the marriage. Please. Hopefully it's the father and mother, but because the world has gone very corrupt now, just know that there is a consent from the family is important. But more than this is the consent of whoever you are, because of whoever you are planning to get married with or to. In fact, legally, it's the person's consent, the man or the woman, and the woman. It's what binds you legally. But more than this, on a deeper level, Rebecca saying, I will go, is because Rebecca listened to all the testimonies. Rebecca saw all the substance. Rebecca understood the purpose of this visitation from Eliezer. And having considered it, she said, I will take this step. No matter how beautifully blessed, how powerfully endowed, no matter how strongly favored you are as a man or as a woman, you must verbally give consent to whatever relationship you are entering. I'm not saying marriage where they put a mic in your mouth, I do, or the judge will ask you, do you take this man? Then you are saying I do. That one is incontestable. You can't escape it. But even for a relationship, it has to come out from both of you's perspective that yes, I will enter into the relationship with you. It's not something that can be brushed over. Or you say, wow, we just find ourselves in this situationship. What's that? How did you find yourself there? So it must be something that you guys must consent to. And Eliezer too, I have to say this, that rather than stay over in this place, and I just said, let's read. Let me just read verse 55. And Rebecca's brother and her mother said, let the damsel, let Rebecca abide with us a few days, at least 10 days. After that she shall go. Eliezer quickly said, please hinder me not. See that the Lord has prospered my way, that I may go back to my master. Then they asked Rebecca, would you go? She now said, I will go. Speed and time is maybe I should have made this another podcast entirely. Speed and time is important too. Anyway, I guess I will still record some. Today is not the end of the world. Let me just carry on with this. It's okay to record that separately and repeat this again and again. Speed is important too in relationship. Once you miss the opportunity, the window of opportunity for the two of you working together, the window of opportunity may be 9 months for some. For some people, it can be as small as 6 months. I'm telling you, some people, it can be 2 years. Once these 2 years passes and the two of you did not bring that relationship, you did not begin the relationship in that space, you may never get together again. Or you are in a relationship and you did not bring it to marriage within that window, nature will work against you and the thing would collapse. Speed, time, let me not say speed, time is a big deal. Eliezer understood it here. And then he said, please, I have found favor. I've concluded what I want to do. Why not? Let us go. Let us move forward in this relationship and let's get to the point of marriage. It's very important. You cannot be dragging feet and delaying because you want to buy a plasma TV in your house. How many people watch TV? We have not put on our TV in my house now for, I don't know now, several days in this entire year. These how many months are in this entire year now? How many days have we actually put on TV? Except you want to intentionally watch it together, maybe as date night or whatnot. Use your phone now. Both of you have phones. Instead of waiting for plasma TV of 650k. And this is not about plasma TV. Anyway, so yeah, and on the part of Isaac, a profound thing which I'm sure you would have read before, verse 26:3, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels are coming. Which is where I would end this. So that is the place of meditation. For the person who has entered a relationship, think about it again. For the person who wants to get married, think about it again. There's no room really for meditating on whether you get married or not after the wedding date. All you can meditate upon at that point is, how can I improve this marriage? What am I doing wrong? What should I do right? But you can only meditate on the journey ahead before you get married. Please think about it well. Think about it deeply. It's not in the midst of traffic. He said he went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. The condition of the environment fosters meditation. So he meditated. You understand? And that's it. So, and he saw that the camels were coming. And that camels were coming is another topic for another day. So this is what I believe somebody who wants to get married must understand from the man's perspective and also from the woman's perspective. You understand? And the concluding verse of this book, the last verse says, "And Isaac brought Rebekah into his mother's tent, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death." You will see love here. You will see comfort here. Love and comfort. These are the two biggest deals. When somebody asks about why do we still get married in 2026, it's for comfort and love. It's for comfort and love. And I have to say, you would see this in relationship. Anything that you cannot find in relationship, every good thing, let me say, that you cannot find in relationship. See, let me even be more comprehensive about this. Every bad thing that you can see in relationship, you probably see it in marriage. You see, I said probably because I know that there are several factors because both scenarios are not the same. But you probably, so it's better to address it as a relationship. At least communicate it. Talk about it. Is it something you want to manage? And you now be thinking more long term to think that, okay, no problem, you'll be able to manage this. But please, think about it. Every bad thing you see in a relationship, you will most likely probably see in marriage. Even though it will be of varying degrees. It might be more or less. Every good thing that you want to see in marriage, please let it show in relationship. These are things these are nuggets of wisdom. Even me that I'm saying it, I'm nodding my head. Every good thing you want to see in your marriage, please start it in relationship. Comfort and love. That is the point. Not, I saw her in my dream. Not, she is the richest person in the world. Not, he has the greatest potential. Not, is the most popular person in this world. Not, he support my ministry. Not because God said so. Not, no other reason. Love and comfort. I rest my case. Thank you so much for listening. It's the longest. I don't think it is one of the longest, but I can understand why, and I thoroughly enjoy recording this. I hope that it blesses you. Please share. It's a conversation. I'm just talking like everybody else. So this has some premium. It's important to have people who talk like this to you. It's a friend. It's like a friend, your contemporary. I'm not preaching. I'm not a pastor. I'm just talking. And if you have questions, of course, I always love questions so that I can explain things better, so that we can exchange ideas and I can learn from you too. Please let me know. Thank you for listening. This is Live Conversations with Victor James. My name is Victor James, KJV. Bye-bye. And have a blessed week, a blessed life, a loving life, and a life of comfort. Amen. Cheers.